Hello and welcome to a very special telecast here on NewsX. I am Rishabh Gulati. On October 20th, 1920, Lala Raghubir Singh began a school in Daryaganj in New Delhi, which 100 years later today has become an institution dedicated to providing excellence and leadership in building India through independence, through its formative years, and now into a modern era. The school has produced people who have served in all the armed forces, in all the wars that India has fought and died for this country. From the sports field to cricket, Kirti Azad, Gautam Gambhir, to golf, to tennis, to the civil services, the IFS, the judiciary, former chief justices, the IAS, the IPS, in the media, and pretty much every realm of facet of life. Eminent doctors, Dr. Naresh Tarayan, Dr. Dang, Dr. Shroff. This is the legacy of an institution that gets marked today, as well as the future that is set. Because of what has happened this year, we are in the midst of a very limited ceremony that is happening in Modern School as we speak, and we'll be cutting live across to the school to give a lot of people a chance who can't obviously go to the school at this point of time, and more importantly to the larger public here in India, an understanding of what all service has been generated through educational excellence in an institution for the past 100 years. Let's kick off this telecast. What you're watching on your screens is a live shot of Modern School, Barakhamba Road, where the limited ceremony is going to be kicking off in exactly 30 minutes from now at 5:30. You're seeing the wind is blowing and the tricolor is flying high right above the logo and the clock. You're seeing the flag unfurling of Modern School, which is going to be taking place at 5:30 along with the ceremony. We have joining us on the broadcast through the course of the evening tonight so many faces who are contributing in all aspects of life in nation building, who are alumni of the modern schools. Let me kick this off. Let me first make some introductions and then hop across to my colleagues who are there on the ground. Joining us on the telecast, Dipali Narula. She's a life coach and motivational speaker. She's from the 1981 batch of MSBK. Arjun Sharma, chairman of the Select Group. He's from the 1984 batch. He's dressed in his school uniform and he's got his school mug also going with him. Sanjeev Chhabra, director of NCPL. He is a batch of 1982 from MSVV. Dr. Neena Moitra, she's an orthodontist, 1979 batch. Rashmi Vaidalingam, she's a Kuchipudi and classical dancer, 74 batch. Will be joining us shortly. Dr. Ishi Khosla, who's a clinical nutritionist, batch of 1981. Ashwajit Singh, founder and MD of IPE Global Group, batch of 1980. We're going to keep that live shot on our screens. Let me hop across to my PCR group. PCR, can you do me a favor? Can we split up this live shot on one side and the other side? Can we get my colleagues, Aishwarya and Devika, please, patched across to us? Pankaj, can you help us out with that, please? Pankaj? Okay. So now let me hop across straight to the school grounds. Aishwarya, can you show us around and give us an experience which we can't, of course, and most people watching this can't physically attend?
Well, with a school which started with just 6 students back in 1920s, and later after 24 years, the school shifted to Barakhamba Road here where I'm standing. It's a historic occasion for all the modernites, and if I can just tell my camera person to just show the visuals around this particular building, a red building which was inaugurated late in 1934, 12 years at Daryaganj, now is celebrating the 100th year. And all the prominent people who are associated with the modern school is currently feeling glad to have this particular occasion. I've been joined by my colleague Devika, who is a modernite herself. Devika, how big this occasion is for you and for all the modernites who have studied over here and are now at different positions across the world?
Well, we are really excited, Aishwarya. We hope that through the course of the next hour, we will be able to take everybody through what modern school really stands for. It is glorious, and it is extremely nostalgic for us to be standing, with in front of these red brick walls, and we want to dip into some of that nostalgia. And like I said, let's just take everybody through, because it's a historic moment, not just for Modernites. I feel it's a historic moment for India, for Delhi itself, because we're standing here in this building, which is in the heart of the city itself, and it's completed 100 years. So let's figure out what the next 100 years will look like for modern school, and how do we take this legacy forward?
Well, it's just 30 minutes away where this ceremony, the limited ceremony, will begin here in
Ashwarya, for people, I can see a live shot on the left side of our screens. Just can you show us around, Ashwarya? And I know you'll be traversing through the grounds in just a bit, but can you show us around for people who are watching from home? I can see a live shot on the left side of your screens, but can you show us around what's happening around you?
Could I request everybody to join us for tea?
Definitely. If I can tell my camera person to just walk along with me and show this, the whole red building over here is being decorated by different flags. The tricolor is rising high. On the other side, you can see these dignitaries already are on their way. Proper social distancing is maintained just because we are amidst of the COVID-19 pandemic. On the other side, this globe you see just between the lawns of the Barakhamba Road Modern School showcases that how powerful this school is, and all those people who have been associated, the alumni who have been associated, are across the world serving this. Particularly, there are just not people who are associated with the education field, but also different artists,
Ashwarya, so keep moving so that we can keep on seeing what's happening around you.
Veterans are also
keep moving, Ashwarya, as we can see what's happening around you. I know you're headed to a different location. Can we get a live shot back on our screen? Let me quickly take the opportunity. Ishi Khosla is also now with us. Let me start with Arjunji. Arjunji, of course, from the very large family, and over the course of the evening here on NewsX, we will have 7 decades representation from 1950 batch onwards all the way up to, I think Devika is the youngest. She's 2014 batch. I am 2003, incidentally, for anybody watching. Goes back 7 decades. How are you feeling right now, Arjunji?
Nicest feeling. It's amazing to have been part of such an institution that is 100 years young. And I think that's the key thing. We're not 100 years old. The school is evolving. It's made us all what we are. And I think this school is probably the finest and the best in the world, not just in India.
Okay. I think okay. Can you hear us, Dipali ji? What are you feeling right now?
Yes, I can, Rishabh. Yes, I can.
Okay. So how are you feeling right now, ma'am?
Absolutely on top of the world, Rishabh, just like what Arjun said, that it is such a momentous occasion for all of us really to be a part of this institution creating this milestone today. And I have to congratulate you for being able to bring it across the globe to people and reinforcing the deep-rooted connection of this institution with not only Delhi but India and globally. So what an occasion to be a part of, and of course, being an alumni of Modern School, I can't tell you how thrilled, excited and proud I am today.
Okay, Dr. Neena Mohitra, ma'am, like I said, I wish many people could have been there, but because of COVID restrictions, it's just a handful who can actually be there, and grand plans for many things have come asunder this year. But how are you feeling, ma'am, this evening as we build up to this ceremony? Dr. Mohitra.
Most proud. I'm a very, very proud Modernite, and like my kids also say that we bleed blue. So we don't bleed red, we bleed blue. And we are feeling so excited. All my kids, myself, 2 generations of Modernites, and all across the world, people are so excited. We are feeling very bad that we can't be in school today, because that red brick building just has such a great attraction to all of us. And once we enter the portals of the school, we all look like Arjun then. We all feel like Arjun then.
I think it merits a little bit of solemn understanding, if nothing else, of the scale of excellence in leadership that has been offered over so many decades. Ishi Khosla is joining us. Many people watching the broadcast already know her, one of India's most eminent nutritionists. I would say extended family for me. Ishiji, at this moment, we're looking back. Looking back 100 years before I start looking ahead 100 years. I mean, it is quite a remarkable thing what this institution has produced in terms of leadership and excellence in a very long period of time. We talk about the IITs, we talk about the IIMs. I've hosted so many people from the IITs and IIMs over the past few weeks because it's important to give people who show excellence mind space in this country. What does this mean to you, ma'am? Ishiji. Ma'am, could you just unmute yourself, please?
Yes, so thank you very much, Rishabh, and thank you for doing what you're doing. And itself is a reflection of excellence in itself. To be able to help each one of us, modernites, to touch and meet and in a virtual world to organize this coverage speaks volumes for itself about what modern stands for. And really, it is in our DNA. Modern can never be, the spirit of a modernite can never, it's really so ingrained. We can't just stop talking about it. And each one of the panelists right now have echoed the sentiments which I have. And I think we are really very, very privileged to be a part of this and to be witnessing the 100 years in our lifetimes. And it's in this way, even if it's a COVIDian time, whatever it is. But it's
okay. Before I go head back live to the school, let me get Arjunji back in this telecast. Many people watching the broadcast, especially if you're in Delhi or one of the metropolises, you visited the select malls. Now you know the face behind it, wearing a blue shirt. Arjunji, if you just look at, I'm not looking at any particular field. It is across the field, from the armed forces, IPS, IFS, all the civil services, doctors, media, sports, cricket, tennis, golf, hockey, you name it. And there has been excellence that has been produced, and we are in a country that is looking for excellence now in the future. What is the ethos? What's the X factor?
I think it was the modern school factor. And I tell you what it did to a lot of us, and I say it with great pride and privilege. It made us a bunch of thinkers who were reflective, who were inquirers, and most importantly, risk takers. In everything that you see across the broad spectrum of success, these were the 3 or 4 attributes that modern gave to all of us. And I think really this cuts across generations, the decades that you speak about. It cuts across whether we went into sports, we went into medicine, we became entrepreneurs, we served the armed forces. In fact, I get goosebumps when I think of my fellow alumni, the judges, the IAS people. Look at Amitabh Kant. He's leading India today in the thought policy, the thought process of building a new India. So, really proud of that. Justice Kaul in the Supreme Court, Ishi, the Dr. Moitra, they're all wonderful examples. I have a whole bunch of friends called Good Old Days. My God, you should see the success across that. And we've kept together, and the friendships that were formed over these years have been alive. And I can tell you, I really have hardly any friends from my college days, but I probably know 90% of my batch from school. And we've got together, we've stayed together, we've cried, we've played, we've fought even, we've done everything. And that feeling continues. So really, it's all modern school, the X factor.
Okay, let me hop across back to my colleague Aishwarya, who's live with us. Aishwarya, where are you now? And I believe now you have Manas with you. He's now we've gone into the 8th decade. He's 2020 batch, if I'm not mistaken. Where are you guys right now? Can you show us around? Aishwarya, if you can still hear us, just show us around before we lose your feed there. Aishwarya, go ahead.
Absolutely. Everything we see here has some uniqueness. Everything we see here has some uniqueness and symbolism, and right now where I'm standing is this banyan tree, which has, of course, the crest in itself, the school crest, which symbolizes peace, body and mind. Now this banyan tree has its uniqueness itself. Right now I'm just behind this tree. I have joined by the 2020 batch of the Modernite Manas with me. Manas, how do you feel today? It's 100 years and you have been a part of this historic occasion.
Well, look, obviously it's a very proud and a very emotional moment for Modernites. I mean, I've been with Modern for all of my schooling, over 14 years. You can see I'm wearing this badge right here. It's a badge I got while I was in school. So obviously this really means a lot to have been part of such a historic institution, which has got such a large legacy all across the country. Yeah, it really means a lot to all Modernites.
Okay, Aishwarya, why don't you take Manas around and show us around, please. Take a wider frame, Aishwarya, so that we can see more clearly, and take Manas around. He can talk us through it. Just take a wider frame so we can see more clearly, please.
All right, Manas, if you can just, come along with me, walk along with me, and if I can tell my camera person to just show the wider frame so that much of the things can be seen. Manas, if you can just remember this building around, for so many years you have been studying here, what, takes this uniqueness?
Well, look, obviously it hasn't been that long for me. I was just here a while ago. But again, once you look at it, I think you see the word Barakhamba we have for the road right in front of it. That's part of the reason why the structure has been built like this. I think just the school really, all of the architecture in the school, this really signifies something great about the founding vision of the school. And I think when you look around the school, you see that this is a place that's really been designed to inculcate a drive and inculcate really a goal of success and goal of hard work in students. And I think everything about the school, everything about the institution just embodies that goal.
So clearly there you heard from the young Modernite clearly stating that how proud he was. Devika also is with me. Devika, how do you remember these days when you were studying over here and how it changed over the years? Just because it's 100 years now, the education has changed, the things have changed over the years. Now as you see, what's the hope for the next 100 years if as a Modernite, I would like to ask?
Aishwarya, I mean, if you go into the history of this school, and as you were talking about the architecture, the school came up when Lutyens Delhi came up. So you can in fact see that in the architecture itself, and how glorious this entire building is. And as far as the next 100 years are concerned, we just want more of Modern to contribute to the development of India. We've already seen so many eminent personalities graduating from Modern school, and contributing to the development of this country. So we want to see more of that. And as Lala Raghubir Singh also envisioned, he wanted this to be a school of leaders, and that's exactly what we've delivered. So of course the next 100 years for me would be to continue on that legacy.
Okay, Aishwarya, we're going to come back to you.
So
just
clearly next 100 years should be...
I know Aishwarya, that you are headed off to yet another location. I have my live guests with us also. Let me take the quick opportunity of now roping in, joining us on the broadcast. We have Ms. Ketki Sood. She is the current president of the board of trustees of the Modern Schools. Ketki ji, thank you so much for sparing time. I know it's a day when there was so much planned, and this is where we are, but a ceremony is taking place. I have to ask you, Ketki ji, your family and you have been part of this institution for the most part of the 100-year journey. How are you feeling today?
Wonderful indeed that I could be part of this journey, and a great part of this journey. My parents were members of the Board of Trustees since 1945. They had been, my father and grandfather had been doctors to the Lala Raghubir Singh family, and I became a student in 1945, and from then on I passed out in 1957, and from then on I have been associated with the Modern School in one form or another. As an alumni, as later on as a member of the Board of Trustees from 1975, I have been the chairperson of Modern School Sant Vihar and the chairperson of Modern School Barakhamba Road. So it gives me indeed a great pride to be invited by you to represent my school.
Ma'am, it is so happy, and thank you for the service that you performed for the school that has produced the levels of excellence it has. There is an important message that needs to go out, and the direct important message is both looking ahead and looking back. What was the original idea, Ketki ji, that Modern School represented at its time of the founding, ma'am, in 1920?
This is something that not a lot of people talk about or perhaps even know about. At that time in the 1920s or early 20th century, there weren't too many schools for Indian children, Indian families. There were a few very good public schools set up by Maharajas and all that, and mostly people of the Rajasthan families joined and studied in those schools. Plus there were a few Britishers and a few British schools which were set up for those Englishmen and army children who didn't want to go back to Vilayat, as they called it in those days. So Lalaji thought that there should be a school for Indian children, for people who would be governing the country in the future. After the British left, there was already talk about when the British would leave. So where was the population to young people to govern the country? That was the objective, and he wanted to set it up in modern lines, in a modern scientific manner. He found the right principle in Miss Kamala Bose, and they, after researching quite a bit on the subject, and they set up the school.
All right, ma'am. Since you mentioned it, the strength of the school in the institution building, and the alumni that have come out of it in every single field I've been mentioning, both in public service, ma'am, in an entrepreneurial spirit. What is this sort of spirit of leadership quotient in education, ma'am?
Well, I cannot specifically say that the alumni has been very active in the public service sector or in the entrepreneurial spirit. Yes, a lot of students joined the administrative services and also the armed services. And as far as entrepreneurship is concerned, that developed later. We had a lot of children from business families, especially from the city area, who came and studied in the school. Whether we were able to imbibe that spirit in them specifically, I am not aware. In those days, they didn't teach things like accounts and in the school or commerce. So it was something which came to them naturally through the parental guidance or whatever. But yes, we had a spirit of adventure, a spirit of learning, which perhaps helped them to go into these areas.
Okay, Ketaki ji, I know, of course, you have to be involved in the limited ceremony that is taking place. But before I let you go, ma'am, what is the lesson learned through the journey of modern school in creating institutes of excellence in this country, ma'am?
I can only say that it's learning, learning, learning. I don't mean learning for children getting 90% and over, but learning for us, learning for the teachers, learning for the administration to carry the institution forward. Unless we look at new things and new ideas, we will be left far behind. And that I want to add, that we have sometimes been slow in catching up on new ideas. For instance, the question of children with special needs. I don't know if you know the meaning, those who are handicapped in learning. We were a little slow in catching up on that, but now we are fully in charge, above that and over that. So we have to be ahead of the curve, as they say, to create new institutions or to strengthen our institutions. The main thing is to strengthen the learning as we go along.
All right, Ketaki Sood, ma'am, I'll let you get on with the proceedings that are taking place. Appreciate your time and for the service that you and your family have provided to building an institution like this. Before I come back to my guests who are with us as well, let me hop across straight back to Aishwarya. Aishwarya, where are you? Where are you right now?
Well, this is the cricket field, of course, of the modern school. This beautiful field over here saw some brilliant sportspersons who have come over the years and have made India proud, starting from Kirti Azad to 1983, a World Cup winning team member, to Unmukh Chand, Indian cricketer, Gautam Gambhir, member of parliament, as well as 2011 Indian cricketer. All of those have practiced on this particular ground, just not about cricket, but also we saw golfers, making India proud from modern. We have seen shooting, tennis. Vishal Uppal, of course, have made India proud. And there are a lot of sports persons who have gone ahead and are now coaching the youngsters as well. So this is that historic cricket field where I am. The football ground itself is in the background, and also we have the tennis and the golf ground. There you see the horses over there. If someone, if the modern school, the students want to ride on the horses, and they want horse riding as their on their sports occasion. So clearly, this is one of the field that is also being remembered by different students over here over the past few years, which have practiced and now making India proud.
Okay, let me hop across now back to our guest Aishwarya. I know you have another place to go to and show us around before we kick off the ceremony in about 10 minutes. So let me get back to, if I can, Dr. Neena Moitra. Dr. Moitra, ma'am, the reality check is, it is sometimes, I think, maybe over the course of the past few weeks, because everybody's been changing their Facebook profile display, that we are realizing how many people are actually out there on all sorts of fields and sectors. Looking back, ma'am, what was it? What was it? I mean, surely it can't be incidental. Dr. Moitra.
All sorts of fields
I don't know if Dr. Moitra can hear us. Dr. Moitra, can you hear me?
Rishabh, I can't hear you, sorry.
Sorry, I was asking, surely it can't be incidental. Looking back, as we now realize across the fields, I've been talking about judiciary, I've been talking about the civil services, the levels of excellence that have been achieved. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I can see, yes, that's right. I think that's Justice Kaul. He just arrived. He's a sitting judge of the Supreme Court. Currently, I think he's a chairman of the Modernites Trust, who just arrived there. What is it looking back, ma'am, and what is it should be looking forward, Dr. Moitra?
So you know what modern taught us? That no child was ordinary. We were exposed to so many things. That's why today you see judges, you see doctors, you see dancers. Rashmi is here, right here. And so modern gave us an opportunity to excel in whatever we wanted to do. We were never told to be mediocre. Whatever you could do, you should excel in it. That's what we were taught in
Okay, these are lessons. Okay, lessons to learn. Rashmi ji, if I can rope you in, unmute yourself, ma'am. Rashmi ji, if you can unmute yourself, join us. What is it looking back, ma'am, and how are you feeling today? Ms. Vaidaligam, if you can hear me, ma'am. Okay, I don't think she can hear us. Let me get in Ashwajit Singh ji. Ashwajit ji sits on our panels often.
Yes, sir.
Sits on our panel often. Ashwajit ji, how are you feeling right now?
Very well.
Out of the world.
Rashmi ji.
Absolutely out of the world. Nostalgic. Ecstatic. Absolutely out of the world. I think it's a great day. I was in school when we celebrated our 50 years. I was in junior school in 50 years. I was passing out of school when we did our 60 years. But 100 years is a totally different feeling. And I wish we didn't have COVID. I wish you were all at school right now. And the kind of sense of pride, the sense of belonging, the sense of oneness that modern gives us, I think that's unparalleled in any school, college, any institution that I know of or I know people from.
Okay.
So it's really a great day for all of us who are from modern school. And since the morning, we've been sending messages to each other. We've been posting on social media. We've been calling each other. It's like a festival for us. And the celebrations are probably going to continue.
Truly, hopefully once this COVID thing enters. Rashmi ji, sorry, we lost you there for a second. Go ahead, ma'am. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, very excited, Rishabh. What a momentous occasion. I mean, it's been a privilege to have been part of modern school right from KG. And in fact, my batch saw not only the Golden Jubilee, we saw the Platinum Jubilee, and now this momentous, glorious 100 years of modern school. It's completely inexplicable, how deeply proud and privileged we feel.
Okay. Let me take a quick opportunity to quickly get in Dipali ji back into the conversation. Sisters, incidentally, Dipali ji, going ahead, ma'am, at a time when we are talking about, New India, New Century, this spirit of creating excellence. Now, you've had children, of course, who have graduated from modern school as well. Looking ahead, where do we replicate models of excellence like this?
Rishabh, being a part of modern, myself and then my children and my sister, all of us on the panel, my God, Institute of Excellence starts with modern school, and I think in many ways only finishes with modern school, and that is what we know of, really, not only in India but everywhere across the globe. And the way modern school has impacted each one of us in our lives, and what we see when we see the alumni sitting across, occupying the kind of statures and positions in the respective fields, only goes to show the kind of excellence that we've got from modern school, the X factor, like Arjun said. And it is like an ocean, and it is really up to the forthcoming generation of children to be able to either take buckets out of that ocean or maybe a tablespoonful, really. It is all up to them,
Okay.
And replicating modern school is just getting to be there, to experience, to understand.
Okay, ma'am, just stay with me. Let me try to get Sanjeev Chhabra in. Sanjeev ji, can you just, if you could just unmute yourself, join us. How are you feeling right now, ma'am? Sir, of course, can't really take part, but what's going through your head right now? I'm sure you've been in touch with a lot of batchmates, friends. There's a lot of buzz happening around this.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're quite excited. We are the baby school from the original modern, the offshoot, which is going to be 50 years old in 4-5 years. And it's amazing to be something, part of a school, the timeline of which sounds like the history of the world. So the modern with Gandhiji and modern through independence and stuff like that. And modern never leaves you. I think I personally, because of the guts of, understanding your own skin, I was able to sacrifice my whole lock of very long hair because there was this new campaign for, donate your hair for cancer. So modern gave me that guts.
Okay, just stay with me, sir. Let me take the opportunity of roping in now one of the senior trustees of the modern schools, Mr. Ashok Pratap Singh, joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Singh, appreciate your time. I know you have a ceremony, of course, to kick off, but if I could just take a few minutes. Now, core principles, sir, are crucial to any institution of excellence. What of these core principles have stood the test of 100 years, Ashokji?
This is indeed true. As far as the principles are concerned, they are something which represent the vision of the schools, or rather of the founder. And as far as those are concerned, the vision was such that it is permanent. It is not something which related only to that moment in time. It related to the process of what the institution stood for and would continue to do forever. Let me put it like that.
Okay.
Not only 100 years. And of course, at this moment, 100 years is a landmark.
Yes.
But those core principles are going to continue.
Ashokji, on that very thought, sir, as you just mentioned, what was the original idea, sir? And in more actuality, when we are looking back, what recognition must be offered to the founders, and not only the founders, the many able stewards who have guided this 100-year journey?
There are a lot of people. We talk in terms of stalwarts. Well, the journey started with the founder. It continued with a lot of friends of the school. It continued with the heads of the schools. It continued in that sense with the performance of the students when they became alumni and when they continued to flourish in life in different areas of their own choosing. And all those factors together support the value and the name of the school. And recognition is not just to be given to 1 or 2 or 3 people.
Yes.
The recognition is to be given to the entire body of the schools, the teachers, the students, and their behavior subsequent to the time that they leave the school.
Okay.
And as such, all of them have to be recognized as being contributors to a very, very
sir, we are expecting the ceremony to be beginning in just a couple of minutes. But before I let you go, what is your message, sir, to the students, the teachers, the parents, and alumni on this 100th anniversary, sir?
To begin with, thank you. Thank you for all that you have done for the school, and the belief that all of you, in your own different ways and spheres, will continue to maintain the values that you have learnt here, the values that are of the school, and which shall be the guiding forces for the school and all of you in time to come together.
Okay, Ashokji, quick last question. There are some important projects on the anvil, and just not for the school, but to further the pursuit of education in the country. What's on the road ahead, sir?
If I go back to 1920, the whole concept was for an institution to be set up which would play a role in school education and in the creation of an enhanced capability of the people that came out of the school. Now today, when we talk in terms of this country in particular, 95% or more of student population doesn't go to schools like modern schools. It goes to government schools, it goes to schools which are provincial in many different ways. And so, as far as we are concerned, we are looking to create a project which is going to address itself to the needs of the community of the larger section of the country's students. And it is to that aim that we are setting up a completely separate institution which will, so to say, educate the educators in government schools across the country, by researching the needs of them, as well as take care of addressing the needs and improvements of teachers of schools like modern schools. And it is this totality of looking at ways and means of enhancing the quality of school education at different levels in different ways, which is the long haul process that we hope to institute through the new project which we have instituted.
Well, I know that's the centenary project, sir, and we wish you all the best with that. It's going to be important as a place for excellence to research and study, of course, the best of education ahead. Ashokji, I'll let you get on with the ceremony. We're expecting to start. The lights are coming on, as you can see, on the school building as dusk is settling. Let me, before they start off on stage in this limited ceremony, let me quickly take the opportunity of going across to the people joining us. Arjunji, what is it that keeps people, tied in? You've taken out time. All of you guys have taken out time. It's been a difficult year. You're still all gung-ho in your school uniform. What is it keeps the people connected in the modern school family that creates a culture?
Well, for me personally, this is my first family. My friendship, the alumni, it's really truly where it all started. My first crush, if I may say so. My first love, if I may say so, my best friends, if I may say so, they all came from here. And I think the ability of our teachers, our principals, to not just allow us to there was yes, focus on academics, but it made us all-round human beings. They cultivated the potential of each child individually. And I know I was never the brightest of students, but how much leeway I had to develop my interest.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think the ceremony, Ambika ji is speaking. Let's quickly listen in and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with our guests.
During the past century, modern school has flourished during good times and endured challenges brought on by wars, civil disorder, and epidemics. Regardless of the challenge, on every occasion, we have lived up to the vision of our founder, Lala Raghubir Singh, to serve the community and create good citizens. Many of those present here today, and an even greater number who are not, have contributed to the glory of modern school. To all modernites spread across the world, I convey heartfelt congratulations on this proud moment of our alma mater's centenary. In our 100th year, a pandemic has presented serious challenges to schools all over the world. The end is not in sight, and we continue to be tested to think differently and to execute in uncharted waters. The principals, Teachers, parents, and children have displayed a steely resolve to adapt, to innovate, and to work as a team. These are values that define modern school. Our original plans to celebrate the centenary were different, and I thank you for participating in this smaller commemoration. We shall begin the evening by requesting Mrs. Ketki Sood, President Board of Trustees of the Modern School Society, to come forward and hoist the centenary flag and to share her thoughts on this occasion. Ma'am.
Already, let me quickly get our guests back into this conversation. Ashwini Singh, the flag has just gone. I don't know how much of you can see, but I'm being able to see it from my privileged position here in the studio. None of us can be there, but the Indian flag is flying very high, and Ashwini, we can say that the community has done its service by the Indian flag. Ashwini.
Yes, absolutely. I think modern schools given to the country, many leaders, many people in governance, many people in judiciary, many people in media, people in theatre, people in all streams of life. I mean, let me share with you. When I was president of Mazosa, we wanted to do a wall of fame. We wanted to pick up 12 eminent modernites and get their paintings on school. Do you know we had as many as about 25-30 Padma Shris. We had judges of high courts. We had people who represented the country who couldn't make it to the list. I mean, we actually had to get a panel chaired by a sitting judge of the Supreme Court to pick up those 11 people. I mean, that's the kind of contribution we've made to the country.
No, these are good problems to have, and this is how exactly it should be. Ishi Khosla, you know, like I said, wish we could be there, but it's just not about architecture and, you know, how good the building looks and the nostalgia that one feels. It's very real impact, and it's very real consistent impact. You know, through the course of now, we are half an hour in, we're coming back at 8 o'clock on this. Every single field over 100 years, that's 10 decades producing leadership. It's not one particular era, it's not pre, post, 70s, 80s, 2000s, 2010s, and now we're into the 2020s, ma'am. There is a consistency there. What binds it all together? Ishi, just unmute yourself, ma'am, please.
Yes, Rishabh, if I was to summarize what are the hallmarks of modern school, I would put them in my 3 C's, which I just penned down. Number 1 is confidence, the C for confidence, which is, I think, so special and perhaps not shared by too many institutions like this. Confidence which Mr. Kapoor gave every child, irrespective of his excelling in A, B, C. It was just the confidence in being who you are and having the ability to know that. And he talks to people, to all of us in the assembly for an hour every day, and he never talked down to children. He talked to us, he shared. And that's so special. Every day we felt so important. He heard us. He not only spoke to us, he heard us. A principal's period every week, a principal sparing an hour or a whole class to just listen to their problems. Where would you have a principal discussing the dates for examinations?
And that, you know, and that itself, you know, is a lesson in leadership. You know, now I think all of us now work with teams, and you know, this is what I tell them. You watch and learn. I've watched and learned, and I've watched and learned from, you know, my former team leaders and bosses who are editors in chief now, and they are my seniors from school. I think currently You have a lot of media organizations in which you have prominent people in the media space as well as from modern school. Rashmi Vaidhalingam, ma'am, in terms of creating a holistic culture, a lot of people who know you as in your own excellence in the field of arts as a Kuchipudi dancer. You've had a second generation of your daughter who's a Kuchipudi dancer. This holistic education which we keep talking about, but in this country we often haven't gotten it right. What did we get right in school during your time and now, ma'am?
You know, Rishabh, I feel that the vision of the founders was to have this modern education deeply integrated with our traditional culture as well as our values. Nothing was to be lost. Everything was to be amalgamated together. And I think that vision was taken forward very well by the erstwhile principals, Mrs. Kamla Bose and Mr. M.N. Kapoor, who was there for 3.5 decades. And I think that really was the golden period of modern school. And the whole idea was this holistic development of a child. And you had to ensure that not only were you good in just academics, which of course you had to have a good performance, but you had to excel in one sporting activity as well as a co-curricular activity. So there was a plethora of activities that were put on the table, on the platter for us to pick and choose. And the entire
and this is how, it's of course it's a cliche to quote, but this is what modern education now is evolving to. This is what is being reflected in policy now. That yes. That in an era which we've gotten over the past 10-15 years used to, everybody gets 99.9%. It is the opportunity that a person like me got to do other things, that I can do this job. It wasn't simply studying in class.
We were told to pick up these things. Our skills were honed. Teachers, I think the entire system propelled us forward to explore our creative sides, besides, of course, never neglecting academics.
Yeah.
So I think it is a very holistic development.
I at least had some very genial teachers, some inspiring ones and some very, very tough ones. Okay, just stay with me, guys. I just want to quickly take into this broadcast one of the longest serving principals in the modern schools, Ms. Manju Rajput, is with us. Manjuji, thank you so much. She, of course, heads the Raghuveer Singh Junior Modern School, which is in Humayun Road. Manjuji, thank you so much for your time. I know the Junior Modern School has had its own ceremony this morning. What is the feeling of purpose and hope, ma'am, amongst the family of students, the parents and teachers on this centenary day?
Well, they are all charged up. I must say the parents, the teachers, the students and the management, every stakeholder is completely charged up. It's a feeling which is difficult to describe, but I must say, when you talk about hope, every stakeholder believes in this legacy. It's a journey of 100 years, not a small or mean feat. And this is a testimony of the school's strength. Everyone has a lot of confidence in. They are confident today that the school can meet the ever-changing demands of the times. The school has the capability, the school has the wherewithal to deal with the challenges that come its way. So I think it's a very reassuring sentiment at this point in time, where every stakeholder feels the school has been able to march up to 100 years.
So ma'am, I have to ask you, because you're of course teaching students up to, I think, up to class 5. It's a very, very, very formative period. Now, what is the approach then to education and excellence?
Modern's approach to education and excellence in education, well, the school's vision and mission describes it beautifully. Modern school aims at preparing individuals who are self-confident, responsible, they are global citizens, they have the consciousness about their role as responsible citizens of their community, their society, their country, and of course, the world at large. So modern schools aim at preparing individuals towards those great roles where these students move out into a world full of challenges and yet stay rooted in their traditions and values and ideals, looking forward to all futuristic things in life. So they should become contributors in a positive manner to not only their own country, but the entire mankind. So that's the vision of the school, to bring out students, to train students in all those skills which make them good at their own craft.
All right. Manjuji,
and also make them good citizens.
Manjuji, you know, I believe you've
of
helped
the-
curate. I believe you've helped curate one of the songs that has been playing there at the centenary ceremony. Can you tell us a bit about the song, ma'am?
Oh yes, this is so interesting. I tell you, I had actually thought of bringing a song and on this special occasion, and had contacted some of the parents and my teachers if they could write something so special that would justify how we are all feeling at this special moment, and also thinking about the future of the school. So we came up with a few ideas, and finally I took up the responsibility onto myself to pen it down, and I did. And today I can't believe that I've been able to write something so beautiful, because everybody has actually liked the lyrics and the way it's been composed. The sentiment the song describes is beautiful. Why I'm saying so? Because I feel that way, and everybody else who's heard about it feels the same way. So it goes something like this: बुझा सके जुनूं की आग को, ऐसा नहीं पानी कोई, ये वो मुकाम है जिसका नहीं सानी कोई. Then कि मौजज़ा भी है, मंजर भी है, माजी भी है, इसके हर पेच में मिलती है कहानी कोई. वो एक दौर था और एक दौर ये भी है, बढ़ा कदम के सफ़र इतना नहीं और भी है. Something like this, it goes on.
Right.
So this is about acknowledging the fact that we have come a long way, a journey of 100 years, with all sorts of leadership, all kinds of leadership guiding this ship forward. It's about thankfulness to those who thought about such a school in those times.
Right.
When I look back, it's not easy. 100 years back, what was going on in this country? We were in the middle of a political turmoil. And for a young boy of 25 to think of an educational institution in those times that would not only serve the students learn Indian values, but also learn about progressive Western thought, a combination of the two. It was unique. And for a boy who could have easily, resorted to the family business and been a part of that, to think of a school that ran on different lines, on a different thought process, and to serve the nation. His goals were really lofty in those times, and I must say and salute him for thinking much ahead of his times.
Okay.
We realize it today.
True that.
During these 100 years, whatever has been achieved, whatever has been accomplished needs to be saluted.
Okay.
So we say in the song, "100 saal ko salam."
Well,
and within the song, we also talk about the present, because what is. We can work on what is and not what will be.
okay. All right, ma'am, just, as we speak, of course, there is an audio-visual presentation that is going on within the school right now. We'll come back and I'm going to play out. I have a copy of that. We'll play it out during the course of the telecast. Let me take the opportunity for people who are watching us all over the world. We'll keep this AV on our screens. Pankaj, if I can, just keep that, because the photographs speak 1,000 words. Let's hop across to Aishwarya and Devika. Now they are at another part. Where are you guys? Aishwarya, if you can hear me.
Well, as the centenary ceremony is underway, I can see, this beautiful red brick building over here, which also saw, over the last 100 years, different phases of the country. Devika is along with me. Devika, if you can just tell me, what's the, what are these building names, and what are these buildings occupied with?
Absolutely, Aishwarya. So we'll take our viewers one by one. I'm going to ask my cameraman to show Sir Shankarlal Hall. Any modernite watching or anybody who's ever been to this school, of course, knows about this particular hall. It's named after a very famous poet, and that's perhaps the reason why some of India's greatest artists actually got the platform to hone their skills in this absolutely glorious hall. Aishwarya, it has a capacity of over 1,000 people, and that's the reason why, from Miss Yamini Reddy to, Amjad Ali Khan, you name it, and those artists have actually studied in the school and honed their skills. And of course, I'm also going to request our cameraman to take us to M.N. Kapoor Hall, which is, of course, if we can actually show the hall, named after a very beloved principal of modern school, Shri M.N. Kapoor. He was the longest serving principal of modern school. And of course, it's in his memory. He also received the Padma Shri. So this is, of course, what the architecture of modern school is all about. So many red brick walls and a lot of history involved here, Aishwarya. And of course, right there, we're also going to request our camera person to show everyone this particular building named after Sir Sobha Singh, one of the founding fathers of modern school and one of India's, if not Delhi's, most glorious builders as well. So this is where the 9th and 10th graders study. And in front of us is the building where the 6th to 8th graders study in modern school. So this is, of course, Aishwarya, just a glimpse.
Okay, before I go back to my guests, Aishwarya, if you just turn the camera around, there is, of course, there is a tank on display there, the plane you've already shown us. If you can just turn the camera around and show us the other side.
Yes. That's the tank over here, just at the entrance gate of the modern school. That's clearly 1957 over there, which also served for the country. Vijayanta is something which is written over it, which is, at the time of one of the wars which India had clearly stated. So this is one of the tanks over here. On the other side, if I can tell my camera person, I can see over there, but there is also a plane, an Indian Air Force plane, which is clearly placed over here at the modern school, which shows that how war veterans also, came across from here, from Sonam Wangchuk to different war veterans who have served, who have been, proud modernite and now currently serving this country today in army as well and formerly in the Indian Armed Forces as well.
Yeah, I was very, very young when I met Sonam Wangchuk, and I had the opportunity to interview him a month ago from Ladakh. And he, of course, was one of the heroes at Kargil. The school has had people in service during all the wars that India has fought and has lost people, alumni in uniform, in all the wars that India has fought. I think General Shankar Prasad is joining us a bit later in the day. General Malik, of course, many people would recognize as alumni. Okay, we've got a few minutes left, and there is a book launch ceremony that's going to happen in just a while. And of course, we'll be going across to that well. Okay, let me quickly get in Dr. Moitra once again. Dr. Moitra, I remember very, very poignantly, you walk into the main reception area and you would have the marble plaque, which is obviously very old. It had all the list of, people who are alumni who had died for the country. I mean, you saw it every morning while entering school. Dr. Moitra.
Yes. I've lost you, Rishabh.
Yeah, I'm saying that the plaque of all the people who died fighting for this country in all the different services, we saw it every morning while entering school, and it's something that never leaves you.
Yes, it never leaves you. And another thing is that Saraswati Devi, the Murti of Saraswati Devi, we cannot enter the school without doing a pranam to Saraswati Devi. So this was instilled in us right from childhood, and we saw people who had laid their lives, and our school taught us compassion. Yeah, if she was saying about confidence, I would say that our school taught us a lot of compassion. Right from childhood, we were taught to be compassionate. We were taught to feel for people who were less fortunate than us.
Okay, let me quickly get in Arjunji back in. Arjunji, we're short of time because I want to go across to the book launch also that's happening there. I think Ambika ji is just about to announce it. Just the going through the routine. Now, there are, of course, areas that if you've been to modern school that, everybody remembers looking back. My father has just texted me that Aishwarya was reported from the upper field and not the cricket field. So he remembers that very, very dearly. He was captain of the cricket team in '69. But looking back, these are the things that stay with you. If I look back, I remember more of the time that I spent in school, after school, doing all the things that now I look back taught me everything I need for my profession today. They literally made you who you were. Arjunji.
Well, I think my strongest memory is the banyan tree, Charlie's Canteen, refugee markets, bun samosas. That's all engraved. In fact, I think I have a short-term memory loss of what happened maybe 6 years ago, but those 35 years ago, the memory is vivid. Those steps, the upper field, we would just sit there. Even the other day I went to school, there was a drain next to the basketball court. Sadly, they've cut it, but if I may say so, that's where we looked at all the women's legs, That was the perfect position for it. They've shut it down, but it was amazing.
Well, maybe good that they've shut it down. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. The book launch is just starting on our screens, and it's a book which is called The Modern Schools. and hundreds of excellence. I think I can recognize my school principal, Dr. Vaidyanathan, and the current school principal, Dr. Datta, along with the professor who has written the book, Professor Bhattavyal. He'll be joining us a bit later in the evening, and they're just going to cut the ribbon, or open the ribbon rather, which is happening there on the ground. Ashwajit ji, the book is, I'm going to be speaking with the author a bit later. The book is not just about modern school. The book is about the history of education and the role played by an institution like modern school within that. And I think there is a much larger thing that needs to be marked, not just one school. It's 100 years of an institution.
Yeah, absolutely. See, modern school had the unique distinction of being the only school which inculcated the Indian values as well as the Western education. So when you look at a modernite, you will talk about value systems which are there in our Vedas, in our Upanishads, and at the same time, we will be up to mark to take on the world, be it any kind of Western education. I think it is a unique combination of the two. It allowed us to develop our attributes, it trained us to be leaders, and above all, it also taught us that attributes and leadership are only useful if we can get
Okay, I'm just
results.
sorry to interrupt you. I'm just going to quickly listen in. Can we just listen in for a few seconds and come back to our guests? Get a chance to listen into the author in just a short while. Ishi Khosla, like I said, the book is not focusing just on modern school. It's not the history of modern school. Books on the history of modern school have been written in the past. This is about the history of education in Delhi, and this institutional logic. How do we really imbibe that in looking at the place that this institution has placed in the larger realm of the national fabric?
Allow me to complete my 3 C's.
Oh, please,
and
yes.
I think it will answer this question, because one was confidence and how Mr. Kapoor ensured that we all had that. Secondly, caliber. How caliber, and lastly, character. So all the 3 C's, from confidence, caliber, character, and maybe we can add Nina's compassion, which we can make it the 4.
Can you still hear us? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
The hallmark of modern school, and how it has played a role in building society and building a nation with a kind of a value system, value-based education. Like Ashwajit just said, it was a great combination of advanced Western science and principles of education, along with our traditional, our own traditions. So fabulous amalgam, and we are just so lucky to be able to have that, and not only us, our future generations. And just one thought, in fact, I was reading today about blue zones in the world, and I am very tempted to say that all the modern schools should be called blue zones. These are the healthiest and longest living populations in the world. So maybe
all right. Well, we are expecting the Prime Minister to be addressing the country in just a couple of minutes from now. So we'll be listening into that, and we'll come back to this as that ends. Let me take quick last words from everyone across the panel. Dipali ji, we'll come back a bit later. I'll also speak with the book author. But the ceremony is winding up. I think Ashok ji is giving the quick vote of thanks over there. Just ma'am, looking back, we have a build up in the evening as well. But amongst the family, how's the day been today?
Oh, it's been, not only today, Rishabh, this whole feeling since the last whole year, and, of course, culminating into what is happening today is been absolutely phenomenal. Modern school has played such an impact on our lives, and, not only me, my children, and everybody that, you get to know and you meet, and the fraternity overall. So absolutely, hugely gratifying, and extremely proud, and very, very happy and euphoric about.
As we exit, can we All right, before we wind up this telecast, let's quickly hop back across to Modern School, where my colleagues Aishwarya and Devika have been holding fort. Guys, what's happening there? I believe they're winding up, but I can see, you can show us the building behind you, Aishwarya, where the school is now lit up.
Well, the centenary ceremony is just over at the Modern School here at Barakhamba Road. This is the building which is lit up at this beautiful occasion, 100 years of Modern School. But the message from Mrs. Ketki Singh or Mr. Ashok Pratap Singh is very clear that the philosophy and the heritage that has been protected by the Modern School for the last 100 years, the students need to protect them for the next 100 years as well. And there are several new projects that the Modern School is coming up with, and these schools and teachers and the entire fraternity will take them ahead. This is the clear message from all the top dignitaries who has also attended the limited edition over here. Have been joined by
request you, Aishwarya.
Pankaj Vora.
Go ahead. Pankaj Vora is there, of course, from the Sunday Guardian, the editor. Go ahead, Aishwarya.
Pankaj Vora, editor of the Sunday Guardian, is with me, sir. A beautiful historic occasion, 100 years of Modern School. How do you remember this, movement?
Well, it is a very, very historic occasion. You know, I am from a rival school. I was in Delhi Public School, Mathura Road, but Modern School is where many of my friends were. This is an iconic institution, one of the greatest institutions of Delhi, and I am very privileged to be here. You know, there were only 100 people who were invited here, and I was amongst them, and I feel very privileged. This is a school which has great history. It is a school which many of India's freedom struggle heroes, from Mahatma Gandhi to Jawaharlal Nehru to Maulana Azad, and then of course Rabindranath Tagore, they all came here. They blessed the school, and it's come a long, long way. It has been steered to this by successive principals, Kamla Bose, Mr. M.N. Kapoor, etc., and has produced a whole galaxy of people in every sphere. In journalism, some of the best known names in journalism are from this school: Khushwant Singh, Arun Shori, Barkha Dutt, Rahul Shiv Shankar, Rishabh Gulati, Shubhroto Bhattacharya, Vikram Chandra. They are all alumni of this great institution. They have been cricketers, as a matter of fact, 2 World Cups which India has won. In both the World Cups, there were students from this school: Kirti Azad in 1983 and Gautam Gambhir in 2011. It has Supreme Court judges, Justice Madan Lakur, Sanjay Krishna Kaul, High Court judges, Mr. Mudgal, and there have been bureaucrats of Amitabh Kant is here, Rajiv Kumar, who's the head of the Niti Aayog. They're all modernites, and this is an occasion for all of them to celebrate. It's been sweat and toil of a large number of people, and Mr. Ashok Pratap Singh, who has basically looked after the management for a number of years and is in charge of the centenary celebrations, is there. So that is all.
In fact, Mr. Ashok Pratap Singh is right here with us. So the historic occasion just finished. Your message today to the students, to the fraternity of Modern Knights, the teachers, and also whosoever has been a part of the school for the last 100 years.
Thank you for the past, and in future, continue to compete with your vision.
So, a beautiful book just launched by the trustees as well, which is just not for the modernites, but also for the whole lot of educationists, and also for different people around the world. What's the message in that particular book?
You'll have to read it to actually find out, but basically the relevance of that is to try and explain what it is that Modern School tried to do to innovate the form of education at school level in the city, I say, and therefore the country. For example, the first co-ed English speaking school. For example, the first school in which the fine arts and later on sports were made an integral part of the curriculum, and not simply treated as something extra. So those are all examples of the type of things where what the book goes on to say is how these factors, these thoughts, these actions actually had a role in developing the entire school education process in the city.
Lastly, Mr. Ashok Pratap Singh, today at the juncture where modern school is standing at 100th year, what is the road ahead according to you? What you're looking ahead for the near future? The education has changed over the years. The teaching has changed over the years. Learning have changed over the years. Now, what's the road ahead? What's the change that you're looking just from right today?
Simply to enhance the learning capability. It's not sufficient to teach well. It's more important to understand what the student is learning. And the whole process of how to teach and what to teach and the way in which to do so, where so much information is available without having to come to school, that is what is important. How to ensure that the values which cannot be provided by the digital process remain as values of good human beings. And that is what actually modern school stands for. You can go to any school and learn the syllabus, but how to be a good citizen, how to be a useful citizen, how to have the capability of doing well wherever you are, that is what modern school will continue to try and imbibe in its students.
Thank you so much for joining us on this historic occasion. In fact, some more dignitaries here at the limited ceremony. In fact, Amitabh Kant is joining us. Thank you so much for joining on this historic occasion, sir. You are also a modernite here. How do you remember your days?
I have very nostalgic memories. Whatever I am today is because of this great institution, the school. It's left a huge imprint on me. I started academics, but I played a lot of cricket, and I had a lot of extracurriculars. We used to have the Rupak, and I did the lead role in the Rupak. I did a lot of theatre, a lot of drama, a lot of games, and therefore that's all added immensely to whatever I am today. So the school, this is an amazing school. It's the best school in the world. So it's left a massive impact on India's educational system. The students who've passed out here have excelled in all walks of life, and it has had some outstanding teachers and principals who really devoted themselves to the cause of education.
So coming back to the launch of modern school here where you've studied, how do you feel today, at the juncture of 100 years? It's a massive time period.
It's a wonderful feeling. It's brought back so many nostalgic memories from the time I came here. So I've really lived and grown in the school. And as I said, it's made a massive impact on me simply because it's of its vast array of activities. And the challenge then was that you had to excel in sports, you had to excel in extracurriculars, and you had to do very well in academics as well. So all that combined added hugely to the students, and that is what has made them do well not merely in academics but made them do well in life, and that is important.
Lastly, Mr. Kant, you mentioned on different works of fields across the spectrum, from sports to literature to arts, and in finance field as well, in politics as well, public administration as well. This particular school has served. What's your hope for the next 100 years at standing?
It'll produce very outstanding products of the educational system. It'll produce some of the most outstanding Indians who will excel in every walk of life. But more important than just walks of life, it'll produce outstanding sportsmen, it'll produce outstanding musicians, it'll produce outstanding photographers, and it'll produce people who will excel in all walks of life.
So how education has changed, if you can just narrate?
So one of the key challenges is that education has become so competitive, everybody getting 100%, etc. So what we are producing are not human beings but machines. We are producing robots. And it's very important to understand that how well you do in life is not about getting 100%, but it's very important that you do well in sports and excel in extracurriculars, because that's what makes you as an individual, as a human being, and makes the nation. And therefore, I think it's important to rethink about the educational system, that there has to be, and the great thing is that the new educational policy really brings in that new values and new ethos of education, and modern school really is what the new educational policy is all about.
Thank you so much for giving us your time, sir. It's a pleasure to speak to you. There you heard from Amitabh Kant. Ma'am, today at this juncture, ma'am, whatever you're comfortable with, but it's comfort time. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, at this juncture of 100 years at modern school, how do you remember those days and how things have changed over the years, and what are you expecting next from modern school?
First of all, I think I'm extremely grateful to be alive and be present at the centenary celebrations, particularly today. And what a historic date, 2010-2020. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I think it's been a labor of love. It's been like General Viren Singh used to say, an article of faith when he handed over the school to us and appointed us. And he said, this is what you need to actually take care of, is my institution. And don't let it down at any stage. And I promised him that. And I think the 14 years journey that I've had in the school from 2000 to 2014 as the head of the school, I have enjoyed it a lot, because this is a place where education in the true sense can be felt, experienced and delivered. Because the vision is such that, as he rightly pointed out, challenging yourself and challenging the vision to get better than ourselves. Each time that we do something, whether it was in the field of dance, music, literature, mountaineering, art, craft, everything together, and addressing the left part of the brain, the right part of the brain, the educational sense in its true ways, and caring therefore for every single child who comes with a different DNA, a uniqueness, and that uniqueness got celebrated here. And therefore we as heads of school created that atmosphere for students to do it.
Ma'am, just not the learning, but also the teaching have changed over the years. How the rules have changed of teaching, how the experience have changed. And, in this difficult times of COVID pandemic, we have seen online education, which has grown over the past few months. How, you analyze all of these things?
So, two things. One is that we are in the brink of the new national policy in education. Two, we have been challenged by COVID. If there is a challenge, there is a solution. And I think schools like this will take leadership in that matter. First of all, we are all talking. I think the new language that's going by is that we are all getting to digital learning and feeling good about it, and the teacher warriors have adapted and delivered it. It needs to be enhanced, it needs to be corrected, it has to be done in a manner which is good quality education. But I, as a teacher, is more than convinced that, irrespective of the kind of digital education that we'll offer, schools offer three things. One is mediated learning. Second is, we are like a daycare for all age groups. It's not about 2 years and 3-year-old children. We are daycare even for the 16-year-old. So the second responsibility of the school is a daycare. And the third is an socio-emotional peer advantage of learning. So these three things can only be done in a school. So in spite of the change and challenges that we see, I think this is very critical and we understand it more than anything else. And therefore, we are dealing with the change. Of course, we cannot will away the fact that the connected world is on. We have moved on from being just a knowledge society to a connected world. We talk of 21st century skills. The other day I was hearing someone say, we are already into the 22nd century skills. And that is of care, cure and caution, connectivity.
Absolutely.
And if we have to, and community. So these 4 or 5 C's that we are talking about is going to be the 22nd century skills. So when we look at education, it is really, really challenging. But I think we are standing at the threshold, at the crossroads of the new life that's going to be born. But new life without the old one will be incomplete.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing those
Aishwarya, just
views.
give me a shot of the school and keep it on the shot of the school, Aishwarya. Okay, I'm just going to take last words from all our guests, and then we want to listen in from the author on the other side also. Ashwajit, quick last thoughts, your last thoughts on this centenary day.
Great day, great feeling, delighted to be here. And I think you have been asking us what's keeping us all together. It's the Modern School Old Students Association plus our commitment to the school. I said that earlier, you can take a modernite out of modern school, but you can't take out modern school out of a modernite. And my message to all modernites, the 17,000 modernites across the world, as well as the students who are passing out of school, is that over the 100 years now, modern schools created a brand, a reputation, and image for itself. It is important for all of us to remember that and continue to uphold the name of the school. We are not just representing ourselves, we are representing 17,000 modernites spread across the world. So we need to keep that in mind and continue to make a difference to the world in whatever we are doing. Continue to show the same kind of compassion, passion, as well as sincerity to do whatever we want to do and whatever we are planning to do.
Okay,
so great day. Thank you for having us
Okay,
over.
Ashwajit Singh, we'll see you on the panel soon. We'll be discussing the economy. But Dr. Moitra, your last thoughts, ma'am.
So, our school is not made of brick and mortar. We've been talking about students, but what about the teachers? So I'm going to just recite 4 lines, which was written by Mr. Ved Vyas for Mr. M.N. Kapoor, our born, our beloved principal. But it goes to all the teachers over the generations, for all the modern school teachers. तेरे चमन के फूल हम हैं, तू बागवां हमारा, तेरे करम ने आज बख्शा हमको हंसी नजारा, रंगो गन से आज सज धज, तेरे सपन के रूप हम हैं, तेरे चमन के फूल हम हैं, महासागरों से हो तुम विशाल, जलकण समान हम हैं, हिमालय से हो तुम विशाल, रजकण समान हम हैं, मेरे गुरु तुम, रहनुमा तुम, तेरे चरण की धूल हम हैं, तेरे चमन के फूल हम हैं. This goes to all the teachers of modern school. Long live modern school and long live modernites. Thank you so much for having us
Okay,
over.
Rashmi ji, your last thoughts, ma'am.
Rishabh, I think modern school is an Ivy League school, if there is such a word as Ivy League school. And the motto of modern school has been Nyaymatma Balhi Nain Labhya, which means that perfection cannot be achieved by the weak. So we at modern school were always taught to stretch ourselves to the last limit, to excel and to go beyond. So I just wish that all the modernites who are still studying in school, the ones who've left, should stretch themselves, use the facilities that modern school offered, and make the best and become eminent in their fields, in their chosen fields.
Okay, Arjun ji, last words.
We've all spoken a lot, Rishabh, about what the school gave to us. And I think we as the alumni now need to do much more for the school and give back to the school. There is the lovely Modernites Trust. A lot of us have given, like the batch of 84, which I represent, gave about 7 or 8 scholarships, of course the highest. But I think there's much more. The institution needs our support. If these wings beneath the wings have to fly higher. And let me say one thing, Neena ji and Rashmi spoke of poetry. I want to just say one thing. MHS war cry was Bole ka bhai bum, Bole ka bhai bum.
Okay, Ishi ji, last words, ma'am. Last thoughts.
Everyone said it so aptly, so I won't take more time. Just to say that my heartiest congratulations and best wishes to every modernite, anywhere in the world, and my deepest regards to all our teachers who have taught us, and just long live modern school and its legacy. Thank you for having us, Rishabh.
Okay, well, Dr. Moitra, Ishi Khosla, Ashwajit Singh, Rashmi Vaidalingam, Arjun Sharma, and of course earlier to Sanjeev Chhabra, thank you very much. We're expecting, of course, at now 8 o'clock to reconvene, and we'll be discussing what is the service to the country, what is the service to the future school that now needs to be done. My thanks to all our guests who joined. I'm going to thank you. I want to quickly rope in Professor Batabyal. Now, he is the author of this book that has just been launched. It's called The Modern School. If you can hear us, sir, let me just ask you a very straight question. What was the idea behind the book, Professor? What is this book all about?
The school which is celebrating its 100th year, and in this country, very few institutions have survived and sustained for such a long period with a continued sense of brilliance and whatever you attribute that institution with. Therefore, it was a special occasion, and once I was thinking about and I was invited, I thought it was worth our while to see how an institution like a school which has sustained itself for so many years with continued spirit. And if I write this, we'll have some idea of how other institutions actually can learn from this.
Okay, now what did the research part really work? Because I know you've been working on this project for the better part of over a year. What insights did come out from the research, sir? Professor, if you can hear us? Yes, go ahead.
You know, being a historian, we're trained to do research because as we say in history, past is a foreign country. So history of this is school. I've never been a student of school history, but since we are talking about history of an institution, I, for example, in this case, went around seeing what actually conveys the different messages that this institution provides us. For example, the magazine, the archive, the National Archive documents and the school reports and the reports of this school, their students' profile, how the students thought about the schools when they were in schools, what they did after they passed out from school, and more importantly for me, what are the basic features that I found in the students who passed out in say 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s. Are there any continuing link? And for that I had to go delve into philosophy and cultural history of this country, economic history of this country. So altogether, therefore, I organized my research in just a panorama which is larger than this school itself. But then it helps because then the school history becomes embedded in the history of the country and history of cultural and social history of this country, as well as the country's history gets embedded into the
so let me just pick on that, because what did you find most impactful, when in creating this work? What was the fascinating part of this, Professor?
One is the writing process, the way we write, and this book was written of a school which we're running and meeting students, teachers, principals, old students. That is one part. But most exciting was to go deeper into what the students were writing when they were kids, and many of the old students were the ministers, leaders of different parties, government, artists, museum curators. So looking at their childhood was the most exciting part, because one could see sometime, one could expect that this guy, because the result. So what we call in history teleology, that you can forecast the future, and so therefore one could see that germs of something of this kind was already there, but sometimes it is not there. But to see that from this school earlier, when it was a smaller basket of students, more or less what they exhibited as students, they achieved in their later life. And that was to me a very, very fascinating.
Okay, all right, Professor, before I let you go, now, we were mentioning during the earlier conversation that this book is not just for alumni, but this is for a larger audience. Now, in that context, what learning does it have to offer for a larger audience?
Exactly, you are absolutely right when you say this. This book is, as I said, history of India and history of the time gets embedded into the school's history, and therefore the lessons and the bullet points, as they say today, the lessons that I actually get out of this book becomes practicable, or rather one can implement those bullet points or lessons to larger social life, and in more particularly about the educational institutions in the country. Not just educational institution per se. One, for example, the governors of this school system, the governing system, the board of trustees, had given enormous amount of autonomy to its principals, its teachers, its staff. And this notion of autonomy becomes the lifeblood of this institution. People have done very well. The students have done exceedingly well. Principals have managed the school so well The board of managements have brought so many good ideas, and all of this because of this small thing called autonomy. The second was that not just functional autonomy, even for financial autonomy, a lot of good things could be brought into the school in the earlier years because the principals were allowed to go about whenever they heard something new has come to the market, some industrial product. So they brought the machine to the school. So this is one. The second was the kind of attachment to the school by the trustees, the teachers and alumni. It is not a kind of give and take relationship. It is much more than that. The school for them is a nursery of a different kind. A school for them is a basket of virtues which they learn and they want to give back. In that sense, when we say alma mater, in very true sense, this is one of the rare institutions which can be called an alma mater, where you have a lifelong bond. When you come back, when you give back, all these relationships are bound for all times to come.
Okay.
The third, which is important, is that the school has, from the beginning, as extremely nationalist school, in the sense that nationalism for them, for the school, was a universal horizon. It's not a limiting horizon. So people have excelled in art, people have excelled in sports, people have excelled in academics, people have excelled in science, people have excelled in social service, people are starting schools in the tribal area, somebody is settled down with the villagers in Uttarakhand. For in all these components, they saw that they were serving the nation. And that, I think, is a learning experience, that you can serve nation by serving in excellent manner to wherever you want to serve, whichever component of people you want to serve, with compassion, with genuine love for the land. And that, I think, these four elements that I talked about are the learning thing that I learned, and I hope the wider readership will be able to glimpse through these learning modules that I thought the school have.
All right, quickly, Professor, before I let you go, just a couple of minutes, and I quickly want to touch upon Live on the School once again before we wrap up this telecast. How important is it for us to draw on these models of excellence, at a time when the medium of knowledge dissemination, the change that is happening at this point of time, not only in this country, but across the world, digitization, edutech that is coming up. What is the modular lesson to be learned here?
Whichever, because there was a time when manuscripts used to be learning model and there's no literacy. When then the printing press came, that means the technology changed, a new model of learning came. And then when the technology books came, and after books, the television has come, now your digital thing has come. So technology will keep changing, and with every change of technology, the module of transmission changes. Now, in this model, what remains throughout is a kind of how do we attach to learning and knowledge production, as they say now. But how do you attach yourself to the issue of learning, attachment to the notion that what learning does to the larger humanity.
Right.
I think these core principles have remained, and therefore, no matter whichever technology comes, whichever technology becomes the medium of transmission of knowledge, the core principle remains. So therefore, the school, for example, when it was started, books, curriculum were drafted here. Now curriculum comes from outside. Many of the things were done here, basic training, for example, functional training, tourism. They used to travel, the students went to Mohenjo-daro, Harappa in the 30s and 40s. They went to all places in the world. Now, through that they were learning. That means even today, it is not just digitally you are hooked onto the television or to the screen, but you go out among the people, go out among the village, go out in the hills and learn something. So that is mean that you attach yourself to the field about which you are learning. That will remain. So that the school has always provided.
Okay.
And I'm glad even in the digital world, they're trying to take the students out to the people, and because we learn from people. So that is one lesson that will remain there. The second is, what is this learning about? I think modern from the beginning, as its founding fathers founding principals and founding teachers and students got together and learned is that learning with compassion. Learning does not mean that you become arrogant, you become detached from society. You have to, the learning makes you actually realize that you are in a country where very few people initially, now many people.
Well, Professor, I'm sorry to having to interject you, but we're running short of time, and it's been fascinating listening to your perspective coming in after having spent a year and a half researching this. The role of the school in the larger context of education in the country, and of course. The book is now launched and available, and we'll be sharing on our social media handles where you can get it as well. But for now, Professor Batwayal, thank you so much for putting this book together and for speaking to us right now. Can I take the opportunity, Pankaj, can we hop across back to Aishwarya and Devika, please? Pankaj? Okay. Okay, guys, before we wrap up, can you just take a long walk, the best that you can, for the people who are watching, who are, of course, unable to take part in any ceremony. All the grand plans this year have come a cropper. Can you just take as long a walk as possible, and then Devika can talk us through what she's seeing?
Well, it's the wrap here from the centenary ceremony, but of course many things are going to come ahead for the next 100 years, as the modern school just celebrated its 100th year. What's the highlight of the day, Devika, according to you? What has Ashok Pratap Singh said for the next 100 years? What's the mission now of the trustees, of the presidents and the board of members of the board?
Yeah, Aishwarya, if you are in a position to actually move the camera around, just show us the place, because we've had plenty of time to talk. Let's take a small chance to see what's happening.
Okay, if my video journalist Ajay can just take on the camera, and if you can just move around along with the live source, and then we can just talk about how it's here we go on. So Devika, yes, you were telling about the highlights, what the board of trustees have decided and what have been said on this historic occasion.
Absolutely, like I said, this is what they've basically talked about, how the legacy, Aishwarya, has to continue. Several new excitement announcements have also been made by the board of trustees, which of course will be exciting several modernites, the generations that will go through these red brick walls now. But like I said, the whole point of today, Aishwarya, if you ask me a specific highlight, was to just watch this. If I'm going to request our cameraman to just show this building one last time to all of our viewers watching today, in all of its glory, just this building lit up is what modernites were waiting to watch, and we are glad that through NewsX we've been able to bring them that particular experience, taking them through this wonderful journey, tapping into the nostalgia, tapping into the history of modern school, and that of course was the purpose. Once again, let's focus on the building here as much as we can, because this is what symbolizes modern school, right? Like I said in the beginning, Aishwarya, it's not just a historic moment for modernites, but it's a historic moment for, I would say, India and for Delhi as well, because it's been a long 100 years
for all
since
the people who can't be there.
To 2020.
Yeah, just show us
modern
as much
school
as you can.
has been standing strong and tall and absolutely glorious. Of course, giving us some of India's most important figures. Several icons have now graduated from modern school, and like I said, Aishwarya, that's going to be the legacy going forward. We want more and more people, of course, more and more leaders of India to be born in this particular institution, because that, like I said, is the legacy, and that's something that we are celebrating and we are marking today. We will be joined by some of the most eminent personalities of India at 8 p.m. tonight on NewsX for a very special telecast, from
all right, guys, thank you for that lovely glimpse, especially for people who are watching and for people otherwise getting an introduction. And I've had the privilege over the past few months putting together hundreds of hours of programming of leadership, wealth creation, excellence, service in this country, from all sorts of institutions, from the IITs and the IIMs that we talk about, from various schools, from various parts of the country. And it was a moment of recognition of an institution completing 100 years. And you've had a glimpse of the people that you've already heard, who are representing in all sorts of aspects of life, in politics and government, here in the media. in the armed forces, and we'll be listening to some of those people there right here at the bottom of the screen. That telecast is happening at 8 o'clock. For now, we take a break. See you in a minute.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.